Hello, everybody. I'm Janis Kronbergs, a beekeeper from Latvia, and will introduce you to the data beekeepers need and actually share the experience what we got from making an app for hive records for beekeepers here in Baltics. Shortly about Latvia, we are 5,000 beekeepers, and actually number of hives is around 100,000. Uh, and Range of beekeepers in terms of colonies per apiary dominates in a small, let's say, segment from 1 to 10 hives, and then it grows also for up to 30 hives, but then it becomes less and less popular, and let's say therefore the portfolio of most of beekeepers sits, let's say, up to up to 35 40 hives. uh, the age of beekeepers also is quite representative for for every country, and therefore there are young beekeepers coming, and there are a lot of beekeepers which are more than 40 years old, like me. And yeah, it gives a, let's say, profile of beekeepers where we with whom we are working, and we're developing our conclusions about data necessary. And yeah, and generally what data source beekeepers use. Uh, Actually, you see, there is very traditional way how data can be written on a hive, on waterproof way even. Uh, for sure, you can keep also some records on a paper or digitally. Uh, Bricks or stones on hives also gives an information which you can use for your data. And for sure, some external public resource becoming more and more popular, like a weather forecast. And the question is, do beekeepers take records? What they collect? At the beginning, as I mentioned, this survey, uh, we conducted out about hive records practices, and we were happy to see that more than 10% of all beekeepers in Latvia took participation in that. For sure, we did it in digital way. Therefore, maybe some elderly beekeepers are not representable so much in this survey, but still we see that almost half of beekeepers told that they keep regular records, meaning that it's consistent time by time, and also irregular hive records are taking also second half almost, and around 9 to 10% of participants are saying that they are not keeping records. When we looked on profile of those beekeepers, we found that those regular hive records are kept more by beekeepers which are more experienced, with longer experience, and they already found some ways and practice how to do it in appropriate way. Uh, uh, like for irregular records, were more dominant young beekeepers, which are probably still finding their way, and they haven't those habits to keep records in a regular way. Uh, but it doesn't mean when only young beekeepers are here, but it was seen possible to see from statistics. And actually, those beekeepers which are not keeping records dominantly were small beekeepers, and some of open question answers came also back here that I don't need the records, I can keep everything in my mind. Why do I need them? The most interesting question probably is, what do beekeepers record, or what matters to them? And but we found that the main thing what is kept in records is information what you have done with your hive. Have you added something or removed or changed some activities to see, let's say, from a history and plan ahead what to do. The rest of parameters actually are more relevant to some observations, what you have seen, and we see also importance of it, that actually dominantly there were presence of new, let's say, bee age or presence of eggs and larvae. Also colony strengths. Then we know that this colony can be good worker. As we know from our books, and also let's say we need to follow up queen bee data, how old the queen bee is and what when we need to change. It's also pretty high in keeping let's say records list. And then we are coming with some other parameters like swarming tendency, still high, seems still a very important thing. And also harvest, as we not only having for fun it, we would like to earn some money and honey. And it's also important. And colony health as well. Also including varroa treatments and everything related to illnesses of bees and keeping them healthy. And as in Nordic countries, it's more relevant. Also, sufficiency of food is important, as during winter or in autumn we need to feed them sufficiently, and if there are some risky colonies we need to follow up them in the spring, especially if they already starting brood earlier in the spring. And also because of some turbulence in weather, for example, this season in May was quite challenging also for bees too, because it was no nectar, and therefore it's also important parameter, and some more. But what we see is that definitely beekeepers pointed out what is important for them to write down, and we don't see here a temperature or humidity. Yeah, maybe harvest is related to colony weight on scales, how it changes, but definitely we don't see here some, let's say, raw sensor data here. It's more about some activities and behavior of colony. Okay, then we also were asking what's necessary for beekeepers to start to make regular records. What is the reason why you are not keeping the records? And then one fourth almost told that actually they would like to get more information how to do that. What is the best way how to make it, and for sure there should be also information what benefits it brings, but it means they just need to be addressed with relevant information. And almost a half of beekeepers which are not doing regular records told that it's an issue also to make them easy to use, or let's say tools to be very easy, understandable, and also records should not take too much time. They should be not time consuming. Therefore, there is a need to take this data and make records, but there are some thresholds which are, let's say, resisting beekeepers to do so. And with all this luggage, let's say, and understanding, 2 years ago we created an app, and we're thinking how to make it more efficient for beekeepers. And I will show us a short video what we have at the moment. Did you know that work in the apiary can be organized more efficiently with a mobile application BeeKing? Now season closing can be done with the help of Beekeepers app. For example, plan and track replacement of queen bees, calculate left honey and required feeding of colony and apiary level. This app can be used during inspections manually or by voice. Okay, BeeKing. Removed honey frame, added honey super, made a varroa treatment, colony needs additional food, or using hive tags. Let's continue to follow beekeepers' traditions and use latest technologies together. And thinking about latest technologies, the question is what is next? Does beekeeper is the only person who can enter data and collect data for colony? And answer is no, for sure. You know, there are already sensors, and we can get temperature, humidity, and other parameters. But the question is how to make it very user-friendly and understandable way for a beekeeper, like we saw from a survey, what data matters to them. And it's not so easier because actually we need some kind of layer in the middle, interpreter, who can, let's say, make this data more easy to understand for beekeeper, especially if there are sensors in several colonies, because all those data, it's a huge amount and it takes a time. And actually, is there any value to look on them if there are no changes even? Therefore, this is a quite big challenge. And I will say that from also SAM's project, we see that this data warehouse and data processing part is developed, and I see there is a huge potential to develop how to use all those parameters and actually apply them also with activities what beekeeper that did, and then can and then decide what is current situation with colony. Not only sensors, but also all the activities together with beekeeper. And this is a challenge for BeeKing's team also, as we are looking to different sensor providers and would like them to connect also to the app. And also beekeepers are using different sensors. And here comes also the next topic, which will be related to BXML and how to organize and orchestrate all this data in a way that all the beekeeping apps can get this data and reuse and share also with scientists and all stakeholders which are interested. Still, this is a challenge for us. And therefore also in my apiary already for second season, I'm using various sensors. Some of them just scale, some of them measuring humidity and temperature. Some of them have also anti-theft functionality, which is also important in some extent. Therefore, would like to see what are the benefits and what is the best fit out of them. And with Sam's team, we also discuss them from the beginning of next season. I would be happy to put in my apiary also smart apiculture management service devices. Let's see how it will be developed, but definitely, therefore, there is a base for comparison and making some conclusions and see how to benefit for beekeeper from that. Why sensors? Actually, is the last point what I would like to stress. What is the future of them and why do we need? I will say that definitely for me it will help to identify risks when colony is going to swarm, or maybe there is a good harvest, but there is no empty combs to put at the moment this honey in. Therefore, those all are risks which beekeepers faces, and actually, if we can identify them, it could help a lot, and also it could reduce unnecessary work if I don't need to buzzer or check, do some inspections for colony. If sensors are telling when everything is okay, then I will save my time. And for some beekeepers which are keen on researching what happens in a colony, in a hives, and for sure it gives some insights and also some interesting hints. And for sure this is also a good thing, especially for young beekeepers. And for sure, as more and more sensors can provide the data, then I, as a beekeeper, will be I will, from me, will be less necessary to enter some data which can be also get out from sensors. For sure, their beekeeper will still be necessary, and data will be necessary to enter, but there could be some savings in that side. Therefore, there are several reasons why to use sensors. And I'm looking very optimistic to the future of that. And thank you very much for your time. And if you have some questions, yeah, you can ask them now. Thank you.